The first thing I noticed was the smell. It wasn't the usual smell of food cooking. It was something sour, almost metallic. I didn't say anything at first because I didn't want to be rude. You don't insult someone's food, especially not when you're in their home. But my stomach turned as the aroma got stronger. It was at Mama Titi's house, deep in the village. My cousin, Chaka, had insisted I visit her. She's the best cook in the whole community, he said. Her food has magic. You'll see. I didn't argue. I'd heard about her before, her cooking was famous, and people swore they felt stronger after eating her meals. But now, sitting in her small, dim kitchen, I regretted agreeing to come. The room was hot, the firewood stove crackling in one corner. A large pot boiled on the fire, steam rising in waves. Mama Titi stood over it, stirring with a long wooden spoon. Her wrapper was tied tightly around her waist, and she hummed an old Igbo song. I tried to focus on the sound of her voice, but that smell kept pulling me back. It was wrong. It wasn't food. Chaka, are you sure we are eating soon? I asked, forcing a smile. Yes, yes, he replied, grinning. Mama Titi is almost done. Be patient, brother. But then I saw it, something that made my skin crawl. On the counter next to the pot, there was a small pile of used menstrual pads. They weren't hidden. They were just there. Stained, crumpled, and in plain sight. My heart skipped a beat. I wanted to say something, but my mouth went dry. Surely, they weren't for the food. No one would do that. Right? As if reading my thoughts, Mama Titi turned to me and smiled. Ah, Namdi, you'll love my cooking. This is special. You won't find it anywhere else. Her words sent a chill through me. I tried to laugh, to act normal, but my mind was racing. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was very, very wrong. When she brought out the drink, I was already on edge. It was Zobo, the dark red hibiscus drink we all grew up with. It's sweet, tangy, and refreshing, especially on a hot day. But this one looked off. The color wasn't the usual deep red. It was darker, almost brown. Chaka didn't seem to notice. He grabbed a cup and gulped it down like he was dying of thirst. Ah, Mama Titi, you've outdone yourself, he said, smacking his lips. I hesitated. Drink, she said, handing me a cup. Her eyes lingered on mine, and there was something in her expression I couldn't place. Pride? Amusement? I raised the cup to my lips, the smell hitting me first. It was faint but familiar, like the sour metallic scent from earlier. I sipped cautiously. The taste was bitter and strange, with a slight tang that burned my throat. How is it? Mama Titi asked, her voice too eager. It's good, I lied, forcing a smile. My stomach churned. As she turned back to the kitchen, I caught a glimpse of her pouring something into the Zobo pot. She was quick, but I saw it. One of the pads from the counter. I froze. My body felt like it had been dunked in ice water. I stared at Chaka, but he was too busy enjoying his drink to notice my panic. I wanted to scream, to grab him and run, but my legs wouldn't move. I couldn't keep sitting there. The room felt smaller with every breath. My eyes kept darting between the pot of Zobo and the pile of pads on the counter. I wanted to believe I was mistaken, that my mind was playing tricks on me, but I wasn't. I knew what I saw. Excuse me, I need some air, I mumbled, getting up. My voice was shaky, but I didn't care. Where are you going? Chaka asked, his face already flushed from the drink. I'll be back, I said, not meeting his eyes. I stumbled outside into the yard, gulping down the fresh air. The sun was setting, casting long shadows over the compound. I leaned against a tree, trying to calm my racing heart. What was happening in there? Why would anyone do such a thing? I thought of the stories I'd heard growing up, about people using dark, unthinkable methods to gain power or control. But those were just tales, right? SupersTeateeons meant to scare kids. Namdi, Cheka called, stepping outside. What's wrong with you? You're acting strange. I grabbed his arm and pulled him away from the house. Cheka, listen to me. Did you see what she put in the Zobo? He frowned. What are you talking about? The pads, Cheka. The used pads. She put one in the drink. Cheka's expression shifted from confusion to anger. Are you mad? Why would you say something like that? Do you know who Mama Titi is? She's respected. I saw it with my own eyes. I snapped. She's using them for something. Don't you feel strange? Don't you taste it? He paused, his face softening for a moment. You're overthinking, he said, shaking his head. Maybe you're just not used to her spices. She has her own way of doing things. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Cheka, this isn't about spices. It's wrong. We have to leave. Before he could respond, the door creaked open. Mama Titi stood there, her silhouette framed by the dim light from inside. Namdi, Cheka, she called sweetly, is everything okay? Cheka gave me a warning look, then turned to her. Yes, Mama. He's just not feeling well. Her eyes lingered on me, and for a second, I thought I saw something dark in them, something cold and knowing. Come back inside, she said. The food is ready. Cheka grabbed my arm. Let's go. Don't embarrass me. Reluctantly, I followed him, my mind screaming at me to run. Back inside, the table was set. Bowls of steaming soup and fufu sat in the center, the Zobo pitcher beside them. Mama Titi's smile was wider now, almost too wide. You're lucky to eat this, she said, sitting down. It's not just food. It's medicine. It's life. Cheka dug in immediately, praising her with every bite. I couldn't. My appetite was gone, replaced by a gnawing dread. You're not eating, Namdi, she said, her voice sharp. I'm not hungry, I managed to say, avoiding her gaze. Her smile faltered. That's a shame. This food is special. It brings blessings to those who eat it. Strength. Protection. I looked at Cheka, hoping he'd notice the tension, but he was lost in his meal. Then she said something that chilled me to the bone. Do you know why my food is different? I didn't answer, but she kept talking. It's because I put myself into it. My essence. My spirit. That's how I care for my family, my community. My stomach turned. I pushed my chair back, the legs scraping against the floor. I need to leave. Mama Titi stood up. You're not leaving until you've eaten. Her voice was calm, but there was an edge to it now, a command. Cheka grabbed my arm. Don't disrespect her, he hissed. But I couldn't stay. I bolted for the door, ignoring their shouts behind me. I didn't stop running until I reached the main road, my chest heaved, my heart pounding so hard I thought it would burst. I stayed in the village for a few more days, but refused to see Mama Titi again. Cheka was furious, accusing me of being ungrateful and disrespectful. But I didn't care. I knew what I saw. A week later, I heard that another man who ate at Mama Titi's house had fallen seriously ill, his body swelled up, and he complained of nightmares and constant pain. People whispered about curses and dark magic, But no one dared confront her. Cheka eventually stopped talking to me. He said I was paranoid, that I'd insulted someone who only wanted to help, but I knew the truth. Even now, I can't eat Zobo or anything that reminds me of that day. The smell, the taste, it haunts me. I don't know what Mama Titi's intentions were or why she did what she did, but I'll never forget the look in her eyes as she said, "My food is my spirit." Sometimes, I still wonder if Cheka is okay. I haven't spoken to him in months. Maybe he's fine, or maybe he's still under her spell. It's been a year since I left the village, but the memory of what I saw in Mama Titi's house still lingers. I wish I could say I've moved on, but that day changed something in me, something I can't explain. Cheka and I haven't spoken since our fight. I heard through family that he's still close to Mama Titi, visiting her often and praising her food like it's a gift from the gods. I tried to warn him, but he wouldn't listen. Now, I don't even try. Sometimes, I wake up in the middle of the night, sweating, the sour metallic smell from her kitchen filling my nose. I wonder if it's all in my head or if her essence somehow stayed with me. I've avoided returning to the village, but I hear stories from time to time. Mama Titi's fame has grown. More people swear by her cooking, saying it cures illnesses, brings good fortune, and even protects them from harm. But there are darker whispers too. Some people say her food binds you to her, that once you've eaten it, you can't escape her influence. I think about the man who fell ill after eating at her house, about the strange look in her eyes when she spoke of putting her spirit into her food. I've tried to convince myself it's just superstition, that I'm imagining things, but deep down, I know what I saw. I don't tell this story to scare anyone, or make people avoid traditional cooking. I tell it because sometimes, what seems harmless isn't. Sometimes, the people we trust the most are the ones we should fear. I don't know what Mama Titi's intentions were that day, and I don't think I'll ever find out, but one thing is certain. I'll never eat anyone's food without knowing exactly what's in it. And if you ever visit a village where the food seems too good to be true, where the cook talks about spirit and essence in a way that feels off, trust your gut. Sometimes, it's the only thing that will save you.